Tar Heel Nation, we have finally made it to that game once again. North Carolina versus those puke Blue Devils. Both teams currently sitting top 10 in the nation, and both teams currently sitting with a share of the ACC regular season title. A game that you could not ask anything better for. This game's got it. The number 7 North Carolina Tar Heels go up the road 8 miles to Durham, North Carolina to take on the number 9th ranked Duke Blue Devils. The last time these two teams met was back in the Dean Dome back last month as the number 3 North Carolina Tar Heels beat the number 7 Duke Blue Devils 93 to 84. And what a game that was for the North Carolina Tar Heels as they completely dominated the entire game all the way through. When Duke would try to pull in pretty close, Carolina would find a way to get their lead back out once again, and it was a great time for everybody inside of the Dean Dome that night. Harrison Ingram and Armando Bacot both with 20 points, RJ Davis with 17. The crowd was getting into it, the team was running wild, and everything was going right for the Tar Heels. And on the other hand, Duke also put up a great night statistically as they had 3 players with 20 points themselves in Filipowski, McCain, and Roach. Well, fast forward all the way to now, as both teams are still in the top 10, which that hasn't happened too many times in this series. Like we mentioned earlier, currently right now, both teams hold a share of the ACC regular season title. The only team that can win the ACC regular season title outright is the North Carolina Tar Heels with this game. As North Carolina comes in with a record of 24-6 overall, 16-3 in the conference. The Duke Blue Devils come in 24-6 on the season as well, but 15-4 in the conference. Duke opens up as a 4.5-point favorite over North Carolina. Personally, I thought that was a little high, but I can honestly understand it as this Duke team is playing a lot different and better than we saw last month in the Dean Dome. And North Carolina's players, Armando Bacot, RJ Davis, all of these players know that. And they understand that this team is going to be a lot harder to guard and also play against because they have really started to figure out their rotations there. Even though Duke's had some injury issues, especially with McCain, they found their rotation and they're scoring in bunches against teams and they're pretty interesting team to watch going into this game. Stats leaders for the North Carolina Tar Heels is basically the exact same as it's been pretty much all season, as RJ Davis leads us with 21.5 points per game, Armando Bacot leads us with 10.2 rebounds per game, and Elliot Cadeau with 4.1 assists per game. For the Duke Blue Devils, Kyle Filipowski leads in points and rebounds per game with 16.5 points per game and 8.1 rebounds per game, and Tyrese Proctor with 3.8 assists per game. Statistically, these two teams come in ranked pretty similar across the board as North Carolina comes in scoring 81.5 points per game, 44.8% shooting from the field, 41 rebounds per game, 14 assists, 4 blocks, and 5 steals. Duke comes in scoring 80 points per game on 48% from the field, 36 rebounds, 15 assists, 3 blocks, and 6 steals per game. North Carolina and Duke in their last 5. North Carolina has been undefeated in their last 5. They are on a 5-game winning streak as we speak right now. Duke, on the other hand, has only lost 1 out of their last 5, that being on February 24th against Wake Forest, 83-79, where Kyle Filipowski suffered a horrific injury due to court I can't even get it out. I really can't get it out. I try. I had to do it. I had to do it. It is a miracle that guy is still walking after such a gruesome injury over there. Boy, I'm really glad for his safety. Man, leave it to Duke to flop around and potentially get court storming banned forever. Good job, guys. Real good job over there. This game, in my opinion, is set to be a phenomenal one. I have a good feeling that this is going to be a very back and forth game. I don't expect North Carolina to come out and do like they did in the first game of this series this year and dominate all the way throughout. I also don't expect Duke to come out and dominate all the way throughout this game. Now, I could be proven wrong. These two teams, they're great teams, and they absolutely could do that. But I expect these two teams to completely fight this thing out all the way through and through. For North Carolina, their biggest worry, in my opinion, is the perimeter defense because this team can shoot. McCain and Roach, Proctor can put a couple up. Kyle Filipowski definitely can. That is where I believe that in the middle ball screen. We talked about it a lot, me, Alan, and Russ, in the very first preview that we did for the first game this year, that middle ball screen has won Duke games against Carolina, both of which being last year, which they put Armando in that high middle ball screen and then all of a sudden come right down, free layup, and the game is over. So North Carolina, in my opinion, has to come out and has to lock down the perimeter because if they don't, Roach and McCain and Filipowski and maybe even Proctor to a lesser degree, they're going to get out there and they're going to start scoring and scoring in bunches. I thought we did a pretty good job against them on the perimeter in the first game, and they still scored 84. That's they're pretty lethal. And I'm curious to see how this matchup with Filipowski and Baycott go, just because these two guys they know each other well at this point in time now, and this will be their fourth game against each other, and both will definitely want to put their stamp on this game. This is going to be a back and forth tough one, and personally, in my opinion, for North Carolina, I really think Cormac Ryan is the key factor to this team and potentially to their success to win this game. And we saw Cormac as of late turn into, I saw somebody on Twitter call him catch and shoot Cormac, a guy that lets the ball find him in the locations that he should. And he's not forcing anything and he's not trying to force anything. And he's gotten out of that rhythm and really began to play within the offense and letting the shot come to him. If it's open, the ball will find you, as Steve Kerr likes to say all the time. So I really think, and you saw some great games out of Cormac Ryan as of late for that. Even the last game that we just had against Notre Dame, Cormac's having a pretty solid night over there, and he's starting to score in double figures along with, Harrison and RJ and Armando and even Jalen Washington last game. But I really do think he's going to be a key factor here. But, I'm curious to see how RJ does this game. And the reason I say that is because, this team was one of the teams this year that North Carolina's played that defended him pretty well. I know he ended up having 17. He ended up getting that in the second half, primarily. I think he went into the halftime with only like 4 points at the time during the first game. So, they're going to be hounding him left, right, and center because, RJ has been the focal point for North Carolina throughout the season, which he should be. He's playing great. And, you want him to continue to play great. But also, you want to see the aggressiveness from Elliot Cadeau to continue. Not for him to start shying away or hesitating. I feel like when he hesitates, 90% of his shots ain't going in. But when he goes with authority and purpose, we're seeing him starting to knock down some more shots. He's starting to score a little bit higher, throughout each and every game. I think he's been scoring in double figures pretty consistently now over the past few games, and that is only a testament to him and his maturity level, just throughout the season, and his aggressiveness offensively. To find and look for his shot too, because he's a pass first guy. We know that he is a guy. That's the reason he leads us in assists. He's a pass first guy, and he can find an open man no matter what. But also, we need him to score. We need him to score some and to be willing to score. That way, maybe it will spread the defense out a little bit and, allow for, Carolina to have some, maybe some favorable one-on-one matchups against certain players. And it's going to be tough defending this team. But I like the idea of what they went for last game. And, no wide open threes, get really physical with them. No easy free lanes to the basket. That's one thing that's kind of gotten on my nerves about Carolina. They're kind of letting people just run by them a little bit. So hopefully they've stressed that throughout the week. I'm sure they have, because Hubert doesn't want to lose this game. So far right now, between the matchup between Hubert and Shire leads 2-1. and Hubert's got a chance to go tie this thing back up. Oh yeah, I'm sure he's keeping account like, all right, you got two on me last year, but it ain't happening this year, man. So I think Carolina needs to go out. In my opinion, they need to go out there and they need to go fight with everything they got and go play North Carolina basketball and play it, hard and really. And I think they've done this a little bit better over the past couple of games, but to go out there and, show the world once again the defensive tenacity that they had early on in the season. So, I think this is definitely going to be a good one. It's going to be a fun back and forth game. And my prediction, I know this is the part I don't like. I don't think it ends up being as high scoring as the first game was. I just don't see it getting there. But my prediction is Carolina wins 80-78 against the Duke Blue Devils, and they get the series sweep and the outright ACC regular season title. Tell me what you guys think. Am I crazy? Is North Carolina going to win? Do you think Duke might have a shot at it? Does Carolina walk away with the series sweep? Let me know everything you've got to say down there in the comments. I'm willing to hear it. I know Duke fans are probably going to watch this as well. Put your stuff down there. I'll listen to it. I promise. I might even like it there for you. That way you feel better about yourself. But anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. Be sure to like and comment and subscribe and do all that fun stuff. If you enjoy what we're doing, hey, be sure and come on back out. We absolutely love to have you here. And anytime we're on a live stream, we want to see you out there supporting and having a good time with us. We're going to be rooting hard for the Tar Heels tomorrow night, and boy, it is going to be a fun event. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous. I'm nervous for this game, but I'm also looking forward to it each and every time these two teams face off. And that's just, it's the greatest rivalry in sports, man. And nothing's gonna beat that. I don't care what it is. So definitely gonna be a fun game. Hopefully you all have enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. And as always, go to hell, Duke.
You don't want none.